huge win from an API perspective. Oh, thanks for starting the recording.
Yep. Say that again one more time for the recording, Ben.
Well, go ahead and do the intro, Xing.
All right. So today is June 18, 2024. This is the meeting of the Container Storage Interface community. As a reminder, this meeting is public recorded and posted on YouTube. And with that, we'll go ahead and jump into the agenda. So first item here from Xing. Xing, you want to introduce this one?
Right. I'm just wondering if we can move voting group snapshot CSI API to non-experimental. So we have been fixing bugs, adding metrics, adding E2E test, trying to move it to beta. Yeah.
So in CSI, we don't really call it experimental, right? It's called alpha. And
Is that
then when
alpha? I thought it's, oh, sorry. I maybe,
I thought that
I don't know why I say experimental. I
we
somehow
have
thought.
alpha and we have non-alpha.
Okay,
We,
okay.
we, we
Yeah.
have
So
no
that's
way of
what I
doing
mean.
beta. Okay.
Right. We only have
Yeah.
two modes basically. That's what
Yeah.
was what I was trying to say, I guess. Yeah, not I got it mixed up is the
So usually the criteria for taking something out of alpha is that there's some multiple implementations that actually work, right? Can we
Yeah,
point to
so
at
the
least two
reason
CSI drivers
Mhm.
that have tried the alpha version?
Right. So right now there is one driver, which is the Ceph. I think they implemented it both for RBD and the CephFS. But I need to check and know at least one is complete, the other one is maybe work in progress. So we are working towards moving that to beta in Kubernetes. Normally, when we move API to beta in Kubernetes, do we want the CSI stack to go non-alpha first?
I would think so.
Okay.
But the risk is, yeah, if you only have one implementation, when the second
Right.
implementation comes along, they could say, well, wait a minute, you missed something important. So that's my hesitation
Okay.
is until we have multiple vendors saying like, yeah, this API works,
Okay.
we might have to change it. And once we take the alpha designation off, like you can never get rid of it. Right?
Yeah, we can certainly wait. So CephFS, CephRBD, does that count as two? One, that's actually two, right? They're actually very different, CephFS and CephRBD.
I don't know how different they are internally. But
Yeah,
they're from the same vendor,
different.
so like
Same vendor,
like,
yeah, but different
yeah.
semantics, right? You know, the file system, shell file system, block.
I'd feel more comfortable with another vendor.
Okay.
But I know that we can't
So we
twist
can
arms
wait.
and make
Yeah,
it
we can
happen.
wait for some time. That's okay. I want to bring this up
Well,
because we have started.
do you have any friends at EMC that wanted to do this? That you know if anything's in progress?
So they talked about it, right? Because they already have their own version. They did talk about, so yeah, maybe we should bring this up in the next data protection working group meeting. Let's see if Tom is there. They already have their own implementation of the working group snapshot API. I think it's pretty similar to what we have. So it should not be a
You mean
problem.
it's proprietary? It's not this
But
CSI
it is
alpha
open.
interface?
They have their own open source. It's just under their open source GitHub repo. But
Right,
they
but it's
already.
not this interface, right?
Yeah, because they had that before we have ours.
Yeah,
Right? That's the
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Well, then they would be perfect candidates to implement this and tell us if it actually works.
Yeah. Tom, participate in the all the design, but definitely it's gonna be good if they actually right implement this or at least do a POC or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can bring it up. Yeah, I think I agree. Yeah, it would be good to have more. Right now.
Yeah, it'll make me feel more comfortable. Also,
Mhm.
well, I guess there's only ever going to be one CO that implements this, which is going to be Kubernetes, right? Do we have all the sidecars shipping that consume the Alpha API so that someone could try this out on the Kubernetes side?
Well, this is not a different sidecar. It's the same. It's a snapshotter sidecar.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, so
Mhm.
the snapshotter sidecar has integration with all these Alpha.
Yeah.
Inter-
They just need to enable it. Yeah. So all
it's
the
like
channels for group
it's
snapshot are
feature
in
gated
the
in the
snapshotter.
sidecar
It's in the same sidecar. It's in the same
with
voting
with the
snapshot
feature
sidecar.
gate.
Yeah. There's a feature gate. Yeah, you can enable
Okay.
that. Yeah. That's how
Okay.
they're testing that right now.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that I think that
We do have
satisfies
somebody
the
else, actually. We
CO
do have
side.
another, well, not a vendor, someone who is working on PostgreSQL operator who is testing this, but they do not have their own driver. They just use the host path to test this, but they are testing this feature, so which is good, which is
Okay.
helpful. Yeah, so let's bring this up again in the next TP working group meeting and see if more vendors can start implement this.
Yeah, and we can threaten them and say, hey, if you don't show up and implement it and give us feedback, we're going to change it to non-alpha, and then you might be stuck with an interface you don't like, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the stick we have in addition to the carrot.
Yeah. NetApp does not have this one yet, right? I think
When
NetApp.
NetApp as a policy doesn't implement alpha things.
I know,
And I'm
because
not
they do not have their own. They didn't like go ahead and implement their own thing yet, right?
right.
Some vendors have already done their own thing. Like I think HP is another one. They did their own thing already. Maybe
Yeah.
Portworx Pure. They also have something already.
I
Yeah.
mean, when I was at NetApp, I would prototype this kind of thing inside NetApp just to prove that it would work. I don't know if they have anyone doing that work now.
I see. Yeah, definitely.
So,
That would be helpful to do that.
so
Okay.
So getting back to the comment from before we started the recording about groups. So Saad, you haven't been coming to the data protection meetings. We started talking about like volume replication, and Xing has been arguing we should begin doing volume replication with groups so that we don't have to graft it on later. And the design that we're starting to coalesce around is similar to group snapshots in the sense you don't have an explicit object that represents like this is the group. You just have a replication relationship that can involve multiple volumes going to multiple places. So you functionally have a group, sort of like the group snapshot is. You have an implicit group rather than an explicit group, and we're really liking that pattern in general for CSI at least, so that CSI never needs to know that there's a thing called a group. It's just there's certain operations that affect multiple volumes at the same time. And that seems to be working
that
well.
relationship is kind of like group anyway, right? Because you can actually have those volumes, that the list of volumes in there, right?
Yeah, but you never need to like tell the SP these volumes are in a group. You always say like, please take a snapshot of these 5 volumes, or please replicate these 3 volumes to these 3 volumes or something. You know, rather than saying like, please form a group of volumes and then operate on that group, because that makes the API way more nasty, I think. So having the grouping be implicit in the API rather than explicit solves all kinds of problems.
Yeah, although I thought replication is a little bit different than the snapshot one.
Oh, it's totally different, but I mean, and to be clear, we're still very early in the process of designing a group replication feature, but we at least have a line of sight to a version of it where the grouping is implicit rather than explicit, and I'm really liking that so far. Like, yeah, anything could change at this point. We could go in a different direction, but my big gripe with explicit groups is the moment you explicitly encode a group, like you have to define what what you can do with that group, and then no one ever agrees. So it's way easier just to say, like, my intent is to replicate these 5 volumes to these 5 volumes. And then whether those 5 volumes were a group or arbitrarily chosen or 2 different groups that were nested inside of a larger group, like none of that matters. Because you're just explicitly telling the SP what you want. And the fact that there was a grouping concept at some level is hidden or implicit.
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually, now that I think about it. And I think when we started doing the volume group snapshot, we ran into exactly this problem because originally it was trying to be a generic volume group API that could also do snapshot. And I think we realized that by trying to create something generic, we would never get there. So let's do something specific for snapshot. So I think it makes sense to
Yes.
now extend that and add a volume group replication API. And I like the idea of the provisioning of the group is implicit. It's more, hey, I want to create a replication group and not explicitly a 2-step process. So that makes a lot of sense. And I think the other good thing here is before we push this volume group snapshot API to beta or to GA, it'll be good to actually have another volume group API with replication where we've,
Oh, I don't know if we're gonna get there. That's
Oh, that's different, right? That's totally different.
like we're just starting down that path.
Yeah, that's like
I see.
that's like
And I don't anticipate we'll like I think we need to get group snapshots moving before we solve group replication, if we ever solve group replication. But like we're making an attempt, but following the same pattern of the grouping is implicit.
Got it. Okay. I think that should be okay as well. I was thinking if we wanted to block on the implementation, at least the alpha implementation of volume group replication, it would help, like if we learned something new and wanted to change it on the volume group snapshot side, we could do so. But I don't think it needs to necessarily be a hard requirement.
Yeah, group snapshots are just way easier.
Yeah.
So it's a good place to start.
Got it.
Group replication is still extremely thorny, but we're making progress. So you should come to the DP working group meeting sometime and have fun with us.
Yeah, I'll see if I can join sometime.
Although actually next time I have something else I'd like to bring up in next meeting. Revert snapshot.
Oh,
Interesting.
that's a scary feature. Yeah.
Well,
So
came up a long time ago, right? This is
well,
I don't even remember, long time ago.
yeah. So revert snapshot is inevitably going to require CSI changes. So
Yeah.
do you want to discuss
Yeah.
the CSI changes here? Do you have a proposal?
Oh no, I don't have
already?
a proposal. I'm just saying I want to start to talk about this and see who's interested and see. Yeah, I know I have not have like a concrete thing yet to discuss here yet. So,
Yeah, the weird thing about a snapshot revert is that like it's a data plane it's a management operation, but it's functionally like a giant write to the volume, right? Where you basically
yeah. So there's definitely a lot of things, right, we need to take care.
But I'm just thinking like, what does the API look like? Because right now you can take a snapshot, you can create a new PVC that points to that snapshot, and then that's your declarative intent to like tell Kubernetes, go make a new volume. Like if you just have a volume and you have a snapshot, like what would you even do at the API level to express an intent that I want this PVC to go back in time to when this snapshot was taken?
Oh, you need to provide us, or you need to provide the snapshot ID at least, right? That's the minimum because you need to pick a snapshot.
But would you create a new object, or would you set a field on the PVC, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good question. But it's not a create, we can't really do a create, right? So it's going to be a new API. Just we name it revert or something, and then provide a volume ID and a snapshot ID, at least I would think.
Well, at the
I
CSI
have not
level,
thought the
like
details.
yes, at
I'm
the
sorry?
CSI level, you need that, but at the Kubernetes layer, like I'm just trying to imagine like what's this is going to
I
look
was
like.
thinking Kubernetes, like we probably will need some restrictions, because
Yeah,
like
a lot of
when
restrictions because
yeah, like for example, you revert, then your snapshots in between will be automatically deleted on some storage system at least, right? So then you probably need to say, hey, what is the safest way? Do we say you
yeah.
have to delete all of those snapshots before you
What and
revert?
Kubernetes doesn't even keep track of which snapshots came from which volumes, does it?
We do have the source, right? We do have the source. When you take a snapshot, you do have the source ID. So
Right?
those
If it was taken
are
inside Kubernetes, but if it's a statically provisioned snapshot, like you don't know where it came from.
if it right, that's true. Yeah. So definitely there are a lot of tricky things coming along. So we have to say, hey, if we want to ever support this, then what other
Yeah.
restrictions, what do we have to put in place? Otherwise it
I mean,
could
are
be
are there
dangerous,
are there
right?
people are there
Mhm.
people who want revert to snapshot? I'm just like I'm
Right. I
given.
just got this use case. That's why I brought this up.
Okay. Yeah.
But know that this was a long time ago. That definitely before pandemic, there was one of the KubeCon, we had this, Six Storage had this gathering and somebody actually brought this up.
I mean, one of the things I like about the Kubernetes Snapshot API is that it doesn't let you do these things that are really difficult to model and support. And like just by forcing everyone to always create new volumes, like it clarifies the workflow because you could always get the behavior you want by creating a new volume using Kubernetes and just restarting your workload. And I, given that's the only thing we let you do, it sort of forces everyone to follow that model. And I think it actually creates, in my opinion, it's a better outcome than people trying to take their existing volumes and time warp them back to earlier times using some complicated, revert API. So I don't know. Like unless there's a user that has a really good reason for why revert is better than create volume from snapshot, I'd kind of prefer to say no, you can't revert. Like create volume from snapshot is the way you use the snapshot, and everyone should just get on board with making that the efficient way to go back in time.
Yeah, so I'd like to see who else have this use case. If let's say we are the only one who require this one, then maybe we just don't do this in Kubernetes, or we can do it ourselves or something. But I'd like to see if there are any other people who are interested in this. But it's true we have not
But
heard of this for a few years,
but
right? Since the
but,
last
but
time.
it's got to be users who want it, not storage vendors who want it. I think because we
Yeah.
don't want to just
It is a
because storage
user.
vendors say like, hey,
It's
I have this feature, I want to expose it.
right, it is user, but I mean, storage vendor, they also get the request from their customers, right?
Okay. Okay.
We
Yeah. Yeah.
use because
Those are the
we
details
don't
we
have
want.
the users coming to our meetings. Very rare we
Yeah.
have the users. We
But
do
but
some.
but if but if but if you can like explain like what are the customers
Mhm.
saying is doesn't work with the create volume from snapshot pattern, that's the crucial bit.
I would say this is normally they have this feature, right? They have been using, they just want to keep using it. I would say that's normally the
But we
case.
can explain to them like, look, it's really easy to just create a new volume from the snapshot, point your workload at that
It's
volume,
still a
and
little
away you
different.
go.
Yeah, you can, right? But it's still a little different, right? So I guess I'd like to just see if there's
Yeah.
anyone
Yeah.
else
Okay.
does this, right? So it sounds like yeah, I also, thought about it. I have not heard anybody else requesting this, other than a few years back, I said that someone was talking about this one a few years back. But since then, I have not heard anyone requesting this feature, so.
It's turning into a not so short meeting.
That's good.
Interesting topics.
Cool. Anything else on that topic or anything related to volume groups?
Nope.
Okay, I think the next topic is really when are we going to cut the CSI release?
Okay.
I believe July is something is our Kubernetes code free, so we should definitely do it before that. So let's pick a week.
Mm.
So I think I missed last week's Kubernetes meeting, so I don't know what was discussed there, but I think it was 2 weeks ago. You know, the idea of, you know, we have all the change block tracking stuff merged now, and in order for the Kubernetes side work to proceed, we need to just get a release out. And I don't, and we also concluded we weren't waiting for anything else. So we can double check now. Like, are there any other PRs in the CSI spec that need to get in before we do a release? Or
I think there are some small PRs. Do we want to go over them quickly?
Yeah, that's
yeah,
good.
we can do that.
I think a couple of them has to do with group snapshot. Two of them at least.
Are you going to share the list, Jing?
Oh, you're waiting for me?
Well, yeah,
I thought that is going to show it.
Yeah, I can do it. Let me go ahead.
I don't have my laptop in front of me, so
Hang on. All right, here we go.
you got the night theme.
Okay.
Very hard to read.
Let me see if I can make it a little bigger. Is that better?
Yeah. Yeah, we have a bunch of changes from Dependabot.
Yeah, because
Should
those
we-
normally we should just merge those normally, right?
Yeah.
Well, do we have any CI tests running against these to make sure they don't cause regressions?
Yep, apparently they are running.
Okay. Yeah, if the CI says that no regressions, it
Yeah,
seems pretty simple to just merge them.
agreed.
And
So
then
there's just 3 of those?
Yep.
Okay. Wait, what would the middle one has an X? Did that one fail?
like that, yeah, then we can't merge that one.
Yeah, that one did fail.
Oh, that's a protobuf, so that might need some code change, right? If the protobuf update failed, could be they changed a little bit of code somewhere.
Yeah, this one might not need to be bumped manually. Okay.
So which test do you think is failing? It's the one that compares the old generated code to the new generated code? And you think it's just changed because protobuf is a new version?
They're not showing any results,
No.
just failed.
Is it old or something? It's March
Yeah, I wonder if
13th.
it's possible it's old.
Maybe we just got to do a retest to regenerate the test output.
Yeah.
Do we have a retest that'll make the testing bot run again?
I think if you touch the PR, it'll retest. I don't know.
Okay, well, we can tell Dependabot to,
Is there a button to retest in the build area?
I don't know if this testing is
Is it-
robot based or GitHub Actions based.
If you go to details, does it have like on the right hand side, the 3 dots? Does that have anything else? No? Oh, just no, does not look like there's a rerun. So probably it needs to be repushed and then trigger that.
Yeah, maybe we can merge the other ones, force a rebase, and then see if this one will run again. And
Okay,
I'll take a
I
look.
like it. All right, just Xing, which other ones did you think needed to go in before the release?
Oh, okay, so there are two. The first one is this describe aborted as error message. I think that one should be easy. Basically, he just added this one more thing that's
This
already
is doc only change.
Yeah, it's dot. Basically just added the error code because we do have the similar
Hello?
one added for volume snapshots. So he basically says, hey, we should add one for group snapshot, the boarded.
Wait, was this originally part of group volume snapshots and we forgot it here? Or was it added after group snapshots were added?
It should have been there. I actually do not remember why this was not added, to be honest with you. So it was in, because volume snapshot one has not been updated for a long time, right? It's a long time ago.
Yeah. I'm wondering how closely we need to look at this. So it says it's already pending for the specified group
Yes, the language,
snapshot.
I think he copied this from that one, but I do not remember why this was not added initially. That part I don't remember.
I'm just trying to understand, is the SP expected to return that only if it's like a retry of an existing snapshot, or like if there's a different group snapshot with a different set of members that like partially overlaps this
No,
group
this is like
snapshot?
the same. This is the same. It has to be talking about the same. So it's talking about if it's the same group snapshot.
Okay, but like
And there's one
if someone creates a group snapshot of
Mhm.
volumes A, B, C, and then simultaneously someone else creates a group snapshot of volumes B, C, D, like is the SP allowed to reject the second one and say
No,
aborted?
that's different, right? If you create a different one, that's not considered already, right? That's like a new one. You can of course create a new one, but this one is talking about if it's the exact same one, then.
Okay, so I don't think it's clear from this verbiage that like the SP should not return an error in that circumstance. And also I'm trying to figure out, it says callers should ensure there are no other calls pending with the specified group snapshot and then retry with back off. So, okay, so the recovery is retry, but why would that? Okay, so normally if you create a snapshot, it just returns success. If it takes a really long time, like the RPC will time out and then you just call create again and then it returns success. So this is like an early, like, don't bother me and call later kind of a response rather than just hanging. Operation pending.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if Java actually implemented this one, but this was in, I know it's in the one snapshot part of the doc. Since
I'm just thinking like
you know
if there were two overlapping group snapshots and an SP decided to return aborted for the second one because it didn't want to deal with taking overlapping snapshots. This says the CO should retry later. And if it did that, presumably the first snapshot will get done. And then when you retry it, the second one could proceed. So it doesn't seem like the end of the world if we allow SPs to just return this as a way of saying, like, don't bother me now, I'm working. And then the CO just retries later, which is what it would do anyways. You'll still get the same result. This is just a way of early termination of something that's not going to succeed. So I don't have a problem with this. I mean, SPs are going to do what they're going to do.
Ben, do you want to ask for any wording changes here, or? You're okay with it?
I mean, it's not obvious what a group snapshot is from this wording, but maybe if we zoom out a little, it'll say what a group snapshot is. I mean, we could get really technical and say a call with exactly the same list of volumes, a call to a group snapshot with the same list of volumes. But like just calling that a group snapshot is a nice shorthand that means the right thing, I think.
Yeah, maybe
As long
we
as
could specify specifically the group snapshot ID.
But I think that it needs to be like all the input parameters has to be identical, right? That's
oh, okay. So yeah, if there's an
with
ID,
specified group.
then
Specified
yeah.
snapshot.
I was just thinking we know that some SPs will ignore the group snapshot ID. And for them, but they wouldn't return aborted in this case anyways. So yeah, I think this just gives SPs another out. And how they use it doesn't really matter because the recovery on the CO side is going to be the same.
So what do you mean? So you mean does not matter that we add this or not? Because there's not much.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't
Mhm.
see how this can go wrong because it's basically saying I'm hanging up now, call later, which is what the CO is going to do if you didn't respond with anything.
Oh, I
So
see what you're saying. If it's timeout, it's going to retry anyway.
yeah, this is just like forcing a timeout faster is what it's doing, and that's harmless behavior regardless of what the intent is. So
Okay, so let's say let's clarify what specified group snapshot means as the primary feedback from this group.
but just in terms of getting the release out, like do we need to merge this or not merge this soon?
Yeah.
So
Which brings, I think, back to the timeline. I think we got 3 weeks left before code freeze. No, 2.5, or even less than that.
and the mechanics of doing a release are that you create an RC
Yep.
sod and then we go out for a vote on the mail list and then you
Right.
turn it into a real thing after what, 3 days or something?
Yeah, it's a 3 business day process. So
Okay.
I think we should target for that process July 1st to the 3rd. And so basically next week, let's merge anything that we need to get merged.
Okay. Does that sound all right timing wise, Shing?
Yeah, I think should be fine. Yeah, I think this
Okay.
does not have to be blocking, right? So this isn't.
Oh, so
Well, yeah.
I
If we can't get this change merged, should we go ahead with the release without it?
think it should be fine.
Okay.
But I can, if this guy, if he's not responding, I can ping him.
yeah, and make sure he's
Yeah.
set the CLA as well.
Oh, he's not? I
I
thought he.
don't know if he did.
Extended.
Oh, for the CSI one, not I'm not sure.
Yeah,
It
CSI.
that was before.
Okay, that's number one.
And then there is another one, which is the calories, I think. But we actually reviewed this one a long time ago. I think it's like we still probably should just see if we can talk about that again. I think it's the one that group controller service. Update, yeah.
Yeah, did Carl already
This is
update it
this is
for all the
like
feedback?
this is also some verbiage basically. If you create snapshot, if let's say you get one one individual snapshot was cut, but the rest of them fail, how do you describe that? How do you tell SP what to do, right? So that's the thing. I was reading that. So should we just more
Oh, gosh. Okay. So
yeah,
wait a minute. So if Carl already signed this, okay, this is going back to October.
yeah, last time
It
because
looks like there were never any changes.
yeah, he hasn't, it looks like he has not changed it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Can we go, Sarah, can you go to the change again? Just go look at yeah, if you go there, I was reading it, I think almost to the bottom when he's.
yeah, so there's multiple
about-
changes in here, I think. Some of which were just like clean up the ASCII art and add some more details.
Mhm.
But there were some functional changes about like how to handle partial snapshots, and that was where we
Right.
got stuck.
This is the one, yeah, this is RPC interactions, right? So this is the part. So if you look at the, 1, 2, 3 step, 1, 2, 3, so basically says if times out, right? I think that's what it says. If it times out, if it times out, what does CO should do? If CO decides that it no longer needs or want it, then you do one of the following. So retry, I guess that's fine. I mean, that's because we always retry. But the second one, I think we need to look at the second one. If CO takes no further action, the user is expected to clean up. I mean, should we tell CO that takes no action? Because normally we keep retrying unless the user delete the volume group snapshot API object, right? Otherwise we'll keep retrying. So should we?
Yeah,
I was just looking at the language here. I'm not sure what's the best way.
I think the crucial difference is that with individual snapshots, like either the snapshot gets created eventually or it doesn't. And if it doesn't, like there's nothing to delete necessarily other than the original request. The problem with the group snapshot is someone asks for a snapshot of A, B, and C, and you get a successful snapshot of A and B, but not of C. Like the whole group snapshot is now defunct, right? Because
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you snapshot C later, it still doesn't count as a group snapshot. So like you fundamentally have to get rid of A and B now to get back okay, so one implementation that would be valid, I think, would be if you take a snapshot of A and B and fail C, then you can delete the snapshot of A and B automatically and just say this snapshot failed permanently, or you could try again and make a new snapshot of A and B and C, and then delete the snapshots of A and B, and then say this snapshot succeeded, right? Like,
right. Only SP can do that, right? So that's the thing. Because CO does not even have a handle.
right. The CO doesn't know what's going on. So,
yeah.
So I think the question was like, can we return some status that says like I kind of have succeeded?
But how can we say we have succeeded? Right, it's one or
Right,
nothing.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you get to that point where you have a snapshot of A and B that is valid, but you failed with C, like can you return that state to Kubernetes and say this is how far I got? Sorry.
But
And
that's
I
not
think the
useful,
answer
right?
is no.
The
Right.
Yeah.
But so then the question is, whose job is it to clean up the snapshots of A and B?
That's SP, right? Because Kubernetes does not know how to clean up that.
Right. I think so.
Okay, so just how we kind of describe.
But I don't think that was clear, and that's what we ended up arguing about. Is like, how does this actually happen? Because I think someone was making the argument that like, hey, those partial snapshot of A and B might still be useful to somebody. They might not care that you missed C.
But but we have already said that we want consistency, right? So if you half of it, it's not consistent.
Yeah. That's my stance. Is it's all or nothing, and if it's not all, the SP better clean up.
Okay. So, yeah. So
but I'll have to go back and read the feedback because it's been several months and
Yeah,
but I don't think we're gonna get this change merged before the release. So like, yes, we should
okay,
try to nudge
sure,
Carl Lori into getting
uh,
this into better shape and
okay,
merge it eventually, but I don't think we need to hold the release for this.
okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I know this is kind of hard
Because
to.
the purpose of the release is to unstick change block tracking,
Yeah,
and
yes.
we already agreed that we're not going to move group snapshots out of alpha yet. So maybe this is the kind of thing we should fix before we move it out of alpha.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and just start merging some of these. This one's gRPC. Okay.
The top one, Golang XNet.
Yeah, I wanted to give it a minute to see if it needed to rerun.
Oh yeah, it probably does.
Rebase. Yeah, I'll come back to this one afterwards.
Is the bot smart enough to rebase on its own?
I don't know. Let me go ahead and try.
You can do, yeah, I can do that. Just to say, yeah. Sometimes it does automatically, so I'm not sure what trigger that. Maybe another merge, maybe that will trigger it.
Or maybe the robot knows how to go poll.
Okay, follow up with that one offline. Let's take a look at the rest of these.
Those looks pretty old, below whatever it, okay. Yeah. Well, what
What
is
about
that?
number 561? Describe what if topology not match exactly.
Yeah, I was also looking at that one. I'm not sure
That's
what that
relatively
means.
new.
Oh, there's already some comments from James.
And James.
It,
Can you open up the diff?
Yep.
Can you change it to like not side by side? Because I can't. The
Yeah.
wrapping makes it impossible to read.
So it looks like he added a few new things to expand or to explain better. Is that sounds like that is.
Okay, then just add more context above and below the change. The little blue arrows. There we go. Okay. Specifies where the fifth version plugin that returns this field must also set SP name, specify multiple topologies to indicate the volume is accessible. CMAs this information. The volume is accessible from all locations in the specified topology. The volume is accessible from a node if the union of the volume's accessible topology is a superset of the node's accessible topology. Yeah, okay, that's the thing that James needs to verify is true. So where is this enforced on the Kubernetes side?
We have that in, I think, in the provisioner somewhere. We have the
Yeah, I think the key to merging this one is going to be to reconcile this language with what Kubernetes actually does and make sure that it matches. It probably does, but we need to make sure that it does, because I can't remember off the top of my head if what the rules on the Kubernetes side are with topology. Like I could imagine a different version of this where the volume is accessible if the intersection of the two sets is non-empty or something, or some other rule.
Yeah. I think I wrote this originally. I'll go take another crack at it and see if I can remember the Kubernetes implementation and the implications here. I'll take another look at this one.
Yeah, it's very non-subtle. I mean, it's very subtle,
Yeah.
non-obvious, because it was incredibly specific, which I
Yeah.
think was good, but it's just hard to remember what the rules are.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
This one I think will
but
be
this,
nice. You can get in.
yeah. If we can't get this one merged, it shouldn't block the release.
Yep.
So the main thing I think is just to get all the Dependabot stuff in, and then
Yeah.
whatever else we can get merged
Right.
by next week, and then go.
Yeah. Sounds like basically everything else is opportunistic. Okay. Any other PRs we want to take a look at?
Looks like those are all the new ones. Other things
Yeah.
are all very, very old.
This is the old deep one that we'll probably never go anywhere with, sadly.
Yeah, that one could be pretty useful if we can get it moving again.
But I mean, there's a massive amount of implementation needed
Yeah, on the
inside
Kubernetes
CSI
side.
and outside CSI.
Yeah,
So someone has to be sign up to do the heavy lifting.
yeah. Okay. So let's say plan merge any remaining CLs Monday to Friday. Oh, this is Monday the 24th to June 28th, and then July 1, we will cut RC release of CSI.next, and then July 3, cut final release of CSI.next. And I guess July 9 will be KDS.next code freeze.
Are you at all worried about doing the voting while people are probably likely to be on
Oh, on
holiday?
vacation?
Yeah.
July 4th.
Yeah.
Oh, July 1st is the, okay, Monday. Oh, yeah, people might.
4 and 5, I think people have off.
Oh, yeah,
Probably.
that too.
So, I mean, alternatively,
We
we
cut a
could
little
do
bit
it.
early, yeah.
Yeah, we could do like Friday the 28th.
If people work on Friday, 27, yeah, maybe 27. That,
27.
yeah,
Do
at least
27.
once.
27th.
And we have a few more days.
And then that'll give you one business day, 2, and then move it to the 2nd. And then move this to 26. Okay, how's that look?
Yeah, looks good to me.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, we'll plan for that then.
Okay.
Anything else on your mind?
That's it.
Cool.
Yep.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
All right, take care.
Bye.